The last decade has been dominated by news headlines explaining why fast fashion is bad for the environment and the world in general. What many could not fathom a few years ago is that it could get even worse. Now, we're talking about ultra fast fashion, a whole different animal. Since the late 2010s, one brand has dominated ultra fast fashion, and it seemingly came out of nowhere. Shein, a Chinese fashion company that was originally founded in 2012, but unofficially in 2008, has experienced almost incomprehensible growth in just the past 5 years. In 2022, Shein sought to raise funds at a valuation of $100 billion. Incredibly, that was almost 4 times what H&M was worth, a company that was founded 2 years after World War II. Inditex, the company that owns Zara, Massimo Dutti, Pull & Bear, among other brands, was only valued at $69 billion, which made Shein worth more than both the established retailers combined. At the time, the valuation made Shein the world's most valuable startup, only behind SpaceX and TikTok's parent company, ByteDance. In 2021, Shein literally shook up the US fast fashion market when it overtook all the established brands to become the top fashion retailer by sales. Zara, H&M, Forever 21, Fashion Nova, and others were caught flat-footed, as the Chinese brand grabbed more than a quarter of the market share. That speed of growth was almost unheard of, rising from almost no United States presence a few years prior to becoming the king of the industry. Today, some estimates have Shein controlling close to 40% of the US fast fashion market, with H&M at a distant second at 27%. Shein did not pioneer the fast fashion model. Far from it. From the 90s, Zara, H&M, and others invented the model by copying runway designs that would ordinarily cost thousands of dollars, mass producing them for cheap in Asia, then selling them in their largely Western retail outlets for just a few bucks. The New York Times coined the term fast fashion, observing that it would take only 3 weeks from a designer's brain to being sold on the racks. The established retail giants were able to accomplish this owing to the intricate supply chains they had built and the lower labor cost in poor countries. Using this model, they were able to upset the centuries-old fashion industry, where the average person owned just a few pieces of clothing all their lives. In the Middle Ages, peasants generally owned 1 or 2 pieces of clothing. Even people in the upper classes owned just a few, unlike the boutique-sized closets they are now accustomed to today. Wearing the same outfit for days without changing was a way of life for most people. They were generally high-quality garments, made from wool or linen, and they obviously lasted a long time. Industrial manufacturing techniques changed that, but it was a gradual shift. For most of the 20th century, clothing items were high quality, and not only was it unnecessary to own lots of them, but it was quite unaffordable. Between 1900 and 1950, American consumers spent approximately 12 to 14% of their annual income on clothing. Today, that number is 3%, and that's in spite of the actual pieces of apparel per person going up considerably. The fact that we now have bigger houses with bigger closets does play a big part. The advent of the walk-in closet in the 1980s certainly accelerated that. In 2017, the average consumer in the world owned 164 clothing items. That has dropped slightly as more and more people become conscious of the environmental crisis, and due to the renewed emphasis on quality over quantity. But the number is still many times more than it was just a few decades ago. On average, clothes are worn 7 times before they are discarded, and it's worse because only about 10% of the clothes in our closets are worn on a regular basis. While not the only culprit, Shein is the biggest contributor to this. If you thought the fast fashion turnover period of 2 to 3 weeks from designer to shelf is too fast, Shein turned the industry on its head and has ushered in what some economists have labeled real-time retail. The Chinese retailer has brought down this period to as little as 3 days. It's basically what Zara has been doing, but on steroids. The speed of which things happen in China was already incredibly fast, but this was something else, something new. Their trick is to mass produce, but first on a small scale. Sounds counterproductive, right? According to Shein's chief marketing officer, Molly Miao, the company produces each item in small numbers, between 50 and 100 pieces per day. This allows them to market it and test its popularity with the audience. If it hits their target metrics, they step on the gas and mass produce it. As you can imagine, such vast quantities of designs every single day have to come from somewhere. While it's true, Shein has an army of designers on payroll, it's also true that stealing designs is a big part of their business model. There are headlines after headlines, mostly from indie designers, accusing the company of doing just that. Sometimes it's not just inspiration, but outright daylight robbery. Like this one from crochet designer Joanne Cosentino, or this one from knitwear designer Eli H. And here's one from Florentine Roel. Another one from swimwear brand Bae. And, even more shamelessly, this one from indie crochet brand Alexei. These are not isolated incidents. It's literally thousands upon thousands of stolen designs. And unfortunately, the vast majority of the original designers never even find out. It is an utterly cruel business strategy, but it works. That's because of our love affair with cheap products. I mean, how is freelance artist Maggie Stephenson, who sells her custom designs for $89, supposed to compete with Shein when they're selling the exact replica, pixel for pixel, for only $4? By the way, she's suing the retailer for $100 million. Once the design you put together for hours or days gets on Shein's radar, it's game over. The company has reportedly contracted over 6,000 clothing factories in China to produce these gargantuan quantities. That's 6 with 3 zeros. Some of these factory workers reportedly work up to 18 hours a day with no weekends. Good luck to your small studio apartment operation. Coupled with their influencer and viral marketing, it's almost impossible to slow Shein down. The pandemic propelled the brand to new heights. As I'm making this, the hashtag Shein has garnered more than 57 billion views on TikTok alone. I'm no Pythagoras, but that sounds like 7 times more than all the people on planet Earth. They've partnered with celebrities like Katy Perry, Lil Nas X, Rita Ora, Hailey Bieber, and mega influencers like Addison Rae to sell their brand to millions of followers. On top of that, they have an affiliate program where lesser known influencers with just a few thousand followers earn 10 to 20% commission on every referred sale. The mass awareness this has brought in such a short time frame is unlike anything we've previously witnessed. Shein is also famous for kinda pioneering the clothing haul model. Basically, instead of buying a single item, an individual buys a large assortment of trendy items at a time. TikTok and Instagram are full of these Shein haul videos, and it speaks of the hyper-consumption trend that simply has to end. The hashtag Shein haul will bombard you with thousands of videos, many with millions of views each, of young women unboxing mountains of new clothing from the company. For $100, maybe $200, you can get yourself tens of individual Shein clothing pieces that you'll probably only wear once. You don't need a trained eye to realize how unsustainable this is, and unfortunately, there are no signs of it slowing down. Analyzing Shein's overall business model, it's easy to see why traditional fast fashion retailers stood no chance. It's great for the investors, perfect for trendy Gen Zers, but it is awful for the planet. What do you think?